Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Literally a guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that P2 lead, 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
This track always delivers in league racing, but due to the elevation changes, will the drivers choose to prioritise downforce or straight line speed? Welcome to a track where it hasn't hosted an F1 race since 2022. It is the Paul Ricard circuit for the French Grand Prix, and it is round number 6 of the PSGL PSF1 Championship. The track is 5.842 kilometres long, 15 turns and 2 DRS zones. Watch out for turn number 7 and 8, as we can see a lot of overtaking through there. And let's see what it's like with a hot lap. This is a very long straight which leads into turn number 1. Be careful not to lock up or one wide through there, as the track is very wide and has a lot of runoff areas. The exit of turn 1 is very crucial as you head towards turn 2 and 3. You have to balance the throttle and steering as it has a slight camber change. Past turn 4, slow left-hander, and heading towards turn 5, a fast right-hander. And the drivers have to aim for a late apex and smooth exit as the corner opens right up into the Mistral straight of turn 7. Drivers can reach the highest speed of the lap, over 300 kilometers an hour, and DRS open through here and a good opportunity for overtaking. Through the race, the drivers can slipstream behind another car and use the DRS to gain an advantage. At the end of the Mistral straight at turn 8, tight right-hander, one of the most challenging corners of the circuit. Passing towards turn 9, which can be taken flat out, and then you're going to be approaching turn 10 very soon. But this is a very technical part of the lap that the drivers have got to be aware of. A lot of elevation change. The corner is downhill through turn 10, and a lot of runoff areas. You head towards turn 11, a medium speed left-hander. Heading towards turn 12 now, another corner which is very, very technical and has quite a bit of understeer. Final part of the lap then, avoid the pit exit and aim to the left as you possibly can. And we head towards the start-finish straight then. A lot of traction required on the lap, and start-finish straight they go, and here's a lap around the Paul Ricard circuit. So that is what the drivers are going to be facing tonight around the circuit, Paul Ricard. We've got myself, Jess Bull, joining in the commentary box. And then alongside me, we got Mr. James Head. James, we've had rain in F2, but we've had some great action in France in the past. What makes this track so special?
This track is so special, I think, for various reasons. One, the 144 different layouts that this track actually has. 2, the overtaking that we'll get out on track. And 3, hopefully some really good driving out on track as well. And I really hope for the drivers' sake that everyone behaves themselves. We get a nice clean race. We get a big old DRS train from first down to 16th. And then let the drivers break loose on the final 3 laps of the race. I can't wait for this one. And, of course, bonsoir to everyone on YouTube and on Twitch.
Yeah, bonsoir, everybody. Hopefully we won't see many au revoirs of people retiring. Sorry, I used Evan's pun and James is going to kill me. But anyway, last week we were at Canada, which is quite similar to France in a way, where people speak French there too. And Matteo took his 2nd win in a row, his 3rd win of the season. This is looking like he's going to be winning the championship, but it's not over yet. We've still got plenty of rounds still to go. Matteo's on top with 62 points. A big gap between himself and Flotman in 2nd. Ian, who got an impressive podium last week, in 3rd. Ren Tomlinson in 4th. Cameron Dow's in 5th. Vola Congan in 6th. Then we've got Gil in 7th. Keke in 8th. Yossi in 9th. And Zorzo in 10th. It was an interesting fight, actually, between the top 5 last week as well, and it went all down to the wire for the race win. And we could see the same here tonight with the DRS trains, but I think it was penalties that decided the race, because I think Ian was on course to win that one, but he got a penalty, and that's what costed him.
And Gustav was on to win that race as well. And then he spun on the third last lap, I think, out there on track. Absolutely heartbreaking for him. He's back tonight. I know for a fine fact he is. Cameron Dowds also picked up a penalty as well. It was 10 seconds in the end, 5 from his previous race, 5 also for an incident with Flopman. That was lap 26, turn 6. Nuth had his 5-second penalty removed, and there was also penalty removal as well for Ryan, or 2 warnings instead of 3. He got an unfair warning as a result. That got taken off as well. And that really did change the championship standings around. Cameron Dowds obviously finished second in that race, only by 800ths of a second. Ended up finishing 4th out of the podium positions, but he's got to try and fight back here tonight. But if anybody can, it is Cameron Dowds. Mateo, though, on top. Ian Van in second. Zolzo 11th. Zolzo not here tonight. We have got the front 2 from last week, of course, in Canada, and here in France as we get a dry qualifying session. I'm really looking forward to this one, and hopefully you guys at home are too.
Yes, I hope you are too as well. We have got a few driver changes for tonight's race, and I'm very excited to tell you them. So we got Barak, he's left PSGL full-time. We got Baki promoted to McLaren full-time, but Baki's not here tonight. So we got Macho that's rejoining PSGL F1. Great to have him back. The last time we commentated on him was, I think, a season or 2 ago. So that is awesome there. So that's familiar face. We've got 2 brand new faces to PSF1, but there's one face I definitely recognise. We've got TRT Brando, who's replacing Zorzo tonight as reserve in the Red Bull. And we got Jamie, that's replacing, well, CPI Jamie, which is replacing with Kazidl tonight in a Mercedes, which should lead a 16-driver grid. Great to have a new pool of reserves, because obviously we were running out of reserves, because pretty much all the reserves are now full-time.
Yeah, they are indeed. I think it's just a part and parcel of league racing, I think, at this time of the year. Everyone decides to drop off towards the end of the game cycle. Obviously, F4, I know, has had a bad attendance here tonight, 14 drivers there. It is dropping off slightly. Hopefully, though, quality rather than quantity in terms of the amount of drivers that we have on track tonight. Jamie, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's been very consistent elsewhere, as has Brandox recently as well. He, of course, is replacing Zolzo tonight. Jamie replacing Kazizl. Kazizl, by the way, has been feeling unwell. Hopefully, Kazizl is out of hospital. Hopefully, he's A-OK, and hopefully he will be back next week. Because we all want to see a bit of Kai Kinch out on track. Let's just face it. As we are now out on track here in qualifying, 2 minutes gone. Haven't missed much if you are just tuned into the stream. But we get to see drivers on their outlaps first, and everyone, of course, with it being bone dry, blue skies and sunshine, it is set us off compound tyres for everyone. And to put it into perspective, F2 pole time, exactly the similar to the weather out on track here now, 1:28.057. F4 pole time, where it was a little bit more overcast, 28.449 in terms of lap time.
Pretty close.
I think, Jess, yeah, pretty close indeed. But I think, honestly, we will get to see, I would say, 27.7, 27.8.
That could be interesting for the drivers with that time, I presume. A 27.7, that is quite bold, but we have seen faster lap times from these drivers before, so if anyone could do it, these drivers can. This track was first used in Formula 1 back in 1971. Many other tracks we've seen is Magny-Cours as well. Still one of my favourite tracks in the French Grand Prix history. The Paul Ricard track is flat, but there's quite a few elevation changes. It's around about 30 metres as well. A lot of runoff areas, but that's not really good for the tyres, so let's hope the drivers do not run through there. We're riding on board with Cameron Dowds as he heads towards the Michel Straight, and drivers have been warned you're not allowed to give slipstream on the Michel Straight, otherwise you will get some penalties. It's been like this every PSGL race, but this is one of the tracks where you can gain an advantage. You are allowed to do it in the race, as he passes turn 9 and in towards turn 10 at the moment. He's purple sector, that's because he's one of the first drivers to set a lap time. Now, a very technical part of the lap heading towards turn 11. Nicely done from Cameron Dowds as he uses quite a bit of that exit curve in towards turn 12 as well. I remember on this game, there used to be turn numbers on the last few games. There isn't now, and it kind of helped us definitely figure out the turn numbers. We had to memorise it now, but you got the track map on the right-hand side as Cameron Dowds heads towards the start-finish straight. He's been looking good before around France. What can he do here as he goes up to the line? A 1:28.101. So James's theory is right. My theory is wrong. We could see the 1:27s very, very quickly. We've got more drivers going to cross the line though, James.
We have indeed Jeroen on the lap time, just trying to see who's actually furthest on. CPI Jamie is going to be one of the next, I think, to come across the line, along with Matteo. I think Matteo might be up next to come across the line. I'll just try and find him on my end. He's actually invalidated on his run, so Matteo across the line would have been a 28.7. Definitely not on par with what we should be seeing. Flopman there going second. Volakonga now going third. CPI Jamie, however, now coming through the final corner on his debut. It is a bit of a baptism of fire for these guys, the newbies here tonight in PSGL, PSF1. But these guys are used to it. Jamie now on the run to line. 28.4, already quicker than his teammate Volakongan. That will set him up very good stead in qualifying so far. Gilles, the old guard there in 28.6. Going there fifth. In Van Unen's invalidated. Rens Thomason's looking good. 49.1 in the middle sector. On the run to line, 28.3. He goes into third position. But Cameron Dowd on top. Flopman there in second. Rens Thomason there in third. Very good lap times by all being set. Fetty invalidated his run, as did M. Sapala. However, he's now coming through the final corner on another run. Now coming through in towards turns 14 and 15 at Lack and Pont. On the run now towards the line. Jeroen there going second. Ahead of Flopman as well. But Cameron Dowd's currently holding sway. Sapala, not really a consistent lap time being set here. 29.3. Definitely made a mistake on that lap.
Yeah, I think quite a few drivers are struggling to get the tyres up to temperature as well. It's quite a fuel burner if you're not too careful as well. There's one driver, by the way, that we missed that is returning to PSGL as well. He's full-time. Guess who's back? It is Fede. So Fede's also back as well. He was in PSGL, PSF1 before as well. He's impressed in many of the leagues and in PSGL in the past. So he's had a welcome back to PSGL in open arms. Unfortunately, he's invalidated, so he's going to go into the pits very soon. But yeah, there's certain drivers that may have had a break in the top tier. They may have not got used to the PSF1 way of doing things, so it's getting back to the swing of things, but I'm sure they can manage a little bit. So your current time is Cameron Dowd on top, Jeroen in second, Flopman in third. A few turns to watch out for. I like to call it the action zones, as we've got the likes of turn 8, a fast right-hand heading towards the Michel Straight. Keep an eye on that. Turn 10, which is a very tight left-hander, which leads into sector 3. I think that's turn 11. Turn 13 as well, where you take a very tight entry before you head into the final corner as well. And of course, turn 1, where it's kind of like a heavy, not much for braking zone. If you think about it, they've got to really nail it, 'cause otherwise they're going to be in a sport of bother. So those are the action zones tonight. We have seen people go for moves in towards turn 7 as well, so watch out for that too. One driver's now out on a lap is Macho. He's hoping to set a lap time right now. Macho's held his own in the last game. He holds some surprises, not on the last game, not the last few seasons. Could this be the race for him to get back into the swing of things?
I definitely think so. He's obviously been racing against these drivers on a very consistent basis elsewhere. And Macho, for me, is probably one, I dare say, one of the favourites going into pole position here tonight. I'm putting a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in him, to be honest. But Macho, as I now nickname him Macho Man, now coming through the final corner at turn 15, on the run to the line. Cameron Dowd on top, Ron there saying in the chat, Cam told me before the lobby he's going to do a 0.1 banker, and he delivered. He's now going to do a 27.9 on his next run. Just look at me in the comment section after that one. Macho, however, down in towards turns 1 and 2, then through in toward the hotel section of the track, the hotel section, in towards turns 3 and 4, and then in toward the garage section at turns 5 and 6 before we embark, of course, on that Mistral strike. We'll see what the first sector is for Macho on his run, and a 21.7 runs out wide. It's purple in the first sector, according to my timing screen anyway. He's now coming through the left-hander onto the Mistral straight. Mistral straight, of course, split into 2 by the chicane, nicknamed the chicane Nord, or the North chicane, as it's translated to in English, as Macho now comes in toward the left-hander of turn number 8, then flicks it right in toward the right-hander of turn number 9, now uses up the second part of this Mistral trade, gets back on the battery, gets back on the power, now running up the hill in towards Signate, turn number 10, 49.280, not as quick as Cameron Dowd. He's certainly looking around Kecky, Jamie Ryan, that sort of area in terms of this lap time, as he now comes in toward the double right-hander of Bolsay at turn number 11, and this is looking pretty good, I've got to say, from the McLaren so far. Now in towards Bendel at turn at number 12, and we'll see what this lap time is going to be set. Oh, he runs wide there through turn number 12, really on the curve, very nicely done actually by Macho. Now in toward Lacken, Font at turn 14 and 15, AlphaTauri there, Cameron Dowds getting out the way on the right-hand side. Macho now on the run to the line, coming through the final corner. On the run to the line he will come. Should be around a 28.4, I think, this lap time. On the run to the line, Macho, 28.5, a 10th off in the end, but he goes quicker than Bolakongan, fills him up with a lot of confidence.
Yep, it does. Times are quite close already, so I want to see if that translates to the end of the session. I really hope it does. I remember recently I was commentating on a race where pole was separated by, I think, 3,000. I don't think we get to that extremes here, but you never know with PSF1. Quite a few invalidations, but I'm watching Cameron Dowds, James. Purple in sector 1, a 21.605. So he goes slightly quicker than what we would be expected from him. So he is aiming for a pretty much a 27 at this point as he heads towards turn number 8. That looks absolutely beautiful, as James was saying, and I could totally agree. The way that he committed to that corner was absolutely incredible. He's got 27.2 to beat in the middle sector. He just gone and smashed it, 27.251, just a few hammers quicker than Jeroen in P2. Jeroen's lap, by the way, is very, very impressive. So great to see him in P2 at the moment. We've got a few more drivers crossing the line, though, as I believe we've got Jamie's about to start his run. We've got Fede's about to start his run too. And it will be Cameron Dowds next to set a lap. So let's watch him heading towards the final corner. Someone else gone purple in the first sector. That is Reigns with a 21.558. Up to the final corner. What could Cameron Dowds do? Can he solidify his pole position? He's into the 27, James, as predicted. Let's watch Reigns as he finishes off his lap. Can he do purple in sector 2?
Well, he's a 25.558, and he's out by 500ths of a second on Cameron Dowds, I think, through that first sector. We'll see what this translates to and correlates to in this middle sector. 48.9. So he is up in the middle sector, but I think
he's
Cameron
not
Dowds
purple.
was quicker in that middle sector. Yeah, I think Cameron's at the purple middle sector out of everyone. Ren's there on the run to the line. You roll there second. Bolakonga now goes third, improves to 28.2. Ren's taking a very wide approach there in towards Bolsay. Got to try and get the now power down in towards Bendel at turn number 12, and now in towards turns 13 and 14, and then through the final corner at turn 15. Ren's is looking pretty good, I've got to say. The potentially scouted Veloce Academy man now in toward the right-hander at turn number 15. Runs wide of the curve. Going to lose some time now all the way to the line. It could be around a 28.1, I fear, this lap time. Ren's on the run toward the line. 28.1. You may as well call me Mystic James in the chat.
I think Mystic James is probably going to predict the lost three numbers as Ian Van Erven goes 5th in the standings at the moment. Personal best in all 3 sectors, but not enough to beat Cameron Dowds, who was purple in the final sector, as we're seeing more people improving. Keke goes into the pit lane. I think. And what have you seen, James?
Jamie just gone third, 28.1. Very consistent lap there. Coming through on both of them through the middle final sector there. Absolutely perfect. Behind Ren's by only 700ths of a second. Matthias there in the chat said Jamie is winning this. I'll hold him to that. I will hold him to that. He's there in third and he's holding his own. It's not. It's not.
Yeah, we don't want to we don't want to have too high expectations for Jamie on his first race in PSF1, but he was, I think, known as a rising star in one of the tweets I saw, I think, a couple of weeks ago on another Twitter account, but I'm not going to say who. But he was one of the drivers who I was keeping an eye on. So I'm not surprised to see him up there as well. Noof goes into the pit lane. Noof last week, it could have been, I think, in the last few races, he could have done just a little bit better. He did score some points, though, in the last couple of races. So he is getting there. He got 7th last week and an 8th. An 8th last week and a 7th the week before. Surely that means he's going to get like 6th or maybe 9th this race, knowing our predictions anyway. But anyway, all drivers are going to go head into the pit lane, and it gives us a chance to look at some PSGL stats whilst everyone's diving in their way to the pit lane. So last time we were here, season 33, and Fabi took victory from Mark Dawson second and Nando in third. Now, I remember this race very, very well because I know what happened in it. Markados was helping his teammate win the race, and they were able to do a 1-2. So I believe they were teammates that day. Or was the other way around? But yeah, I remember Marcos helped Fabi take the first win, and then we had Nando in third. That I have to say was good team play there as well. Matthew Older won in season 30, with Max Wiesel in second, Mirko Soriano in third. Then season 29, Joost Noordijk took victory from Duncan Offlin in second and Ishmael Fassi. Then we got season 28, Matthew Older took victory again. Simon Shooter, season 27, took victory. Season 24, season 23, and season 21, Matthew Older. So Matthew Older is a king around this track. Well, I've known it from other leagues, so not really a surprise, to be honest. For season 25, in his last season in PSF1, Jarno Otmir took victory for Matthew Older in second and Louis Welsh in third. Well, Evan said in F2 that Jarno Otmir won in season 25 here. Well, he didn't say who was second or third, did he? So I beat you to it there.
He definitely didn't. Putting it into perspective as well, Matthew Alder's the most winning driver around here in PSGL PSF1 history. 5 wins to his name, 7 podiums to his name as well. Of course, the PSGL PCF2 man, if I'm not mistaken, these days. The likes of Little Blocks getting on the podium as well. The likes of Aaron Collingwood, which is a name that I haven't heard of in an absolute age.
Legend.
He finished second around here behind Matthew Alder, ahead of Toby Ollie that day as well. Looking through the comment section, Tom Roberts saying promoting 3-place match on still only 16 drivers. Yeah, unfortunately, attendance can't be helped. There's a couple of drivers out with illness, Kazizel being one of them.
Ooh.
But hopefully we get to see out on track here. I knew it was PSGL, PCF2 or F3. Knew it was one of them. I just said the wrong one. But drivers are on their outlaps. Cameron Dowd's on a 27.9. I'm just going to go immediately Mystic James mode and say Cameron Dowd to send a 27.7.
Okay, and if you predict that, I'm going to ask you for the lottery numbers. And Matthew Older won PCF3 last week as well. So, yeah, he's one of the most successful drivers around this track, knowing that he's won in PCF3. And if you haven't watched that, and if you want to find out how that race went, you can check that out after this stream, by the way, because we still got PSF1 to go as well. And there's lots of other PC tiers that happen through the week, as well as the PS tiers. We got F1, F2, F4 that was on, and then we got F3 and F5 on currently as well. Make sure you do check out our sponsors, GT Omega. 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout, or you can use the link in the description, or you can use the code !GT Omega. And also Sim Racing Centre, one of our partners that provide setups, coaching, including session from 2-time esports champion Brendan Lee, strategies, and lots of other really cool stuff. So make sure you can check that out. If you use the code PSGL, you can get 10% off all those. And you can pre-order some F1 24 subs, give you a head start ready for the F1 24 game. We've got some drivers on laps right now. Cameron Dowd has just started one. Vola Congan just started one as well. He's probably the first one to start a lap as he heads towards turn 6 and 7. That is very, very good from Vola Congan in turn 6. But here he comes through the Mistral Straight. Let's see what he could do in Sector 2, James.
Yeah, not a bad first sector at all from Volakongan. Purple, I think, out of everyone through that first sector. Cameron Dowd, not sure what he was setting in that first sector for comparison, but Volakongan is looking quick now on this lap. Coming through the Mistral Straight, on towards the second half of the Mistral Straight, up in towards Sinye Bend at turn number 10, and Volakongan, 48.9. He is well and truly on it here. The Mercedes man needs to find a 10th and a half from somewhere. Cameron Dowd's 21.586. He's 1500ths down in that middle sector, so that 27.7 doesn't look like it's going to happen, I'm afraid. Volakonga now coming through the right hand of turn number 11 at Bolsay, in toward the left hander now of turn number 12 at Bendor, now on the run towards turn 13, and then toward Lackham Pont now at turns 14 and 15. Cameron Dowd out on top, Ben's in second, Jamie there in third, coming toward the end of qualifying. Everyone on that outlap right now, or everyone on their lap right now. Matteo, interestingly, hasn't had a lap time yet, so he'll be one to watch out for further down the field. Volakongan, though, first up on the run to the line. 28.1 gets him into third ahead of Jamie. Cameron Dowd's now on the run to the line. Has he found that 10th and a half from somewhere? Oh, he finds time, but he doesn't find enough. 27.9, he goes quicker. Renz Thomason, though, 48.8 in the middle sector, so he's looking good. He needs to find a 10th and a half again from somewhere in this final sector. Flopman to the line goes fourth. Jeroen now on the run to the line. Oh, he's coming through the final sector. Even Ian Van Una now on the run to the line. Same lap time as Flopman.
Jamie's invalidated.
The pit lane. Yeah, Fetty back into the pit lane. He's invalidated. The McLaren there and Macho coming toward the line. Mateo now on the run to the line, goes 14th, championship leader, down in 14th. Disappointing from his perspective. Jeroen next up on cross the line. He's a 10th up through the middle sector. He goes second. 27.9, big lap time there from the Dutchman, and another Belgian there goes second. Rens Thomason, the Dutchman goes second. Jeroen there in third. Fantastic lap time from his perspective. Sapala, I think, is on a lap. He's a second up on this run to the line, and he goes fourth. Fourth from Sapala. Brilliant lap time from him. Giel is on the run to the line as well, and the Sauber on the run to the line. And he stays 16th. He did improve on his lap time, however. Freddie back in the pits. That's qualifying done. Cameron Dowd on top, Rens Thomason second, Jeroen in third, and Jess, I've been on about these two throughout this season. Now we get to see the age-old battle. Cameron Dowd against Rens Thomason on the front row of the grid.
I can't wait for that, to be honest, as well. And ever since Cameron Dowd has become a full-time driver, he's had more time to practice. This is where we get to see his true pace from him as well. And the likes of Rens up there as well. Again, I'm shocked about Mateo, but we'll analyse a bit more about Mateo very, very soon. We'll run through your order very quickly. It's Cameron Dowd in P1, Rens Thomason in P2, Jeroen in P3, Civilar in 4th, Bollakonga in 5th, Flortman in 6th, Ian Van Uben in 7th, Jamie in 8th, Rando in 9th, which is good for his first race in the top division, and Macho in 10th. Then we've got the likes of Ryan, Fede, Noof, Keke, Mateo, and Gil in 16th position. But no illegal blockings, so we're about to get underway straight away, James. So let's have a quick word from our sponsor, GT Omega. What a qualifying session we had in store. It's Cameron Dowd on top, the first man to get into the 127s. Ren Tomlinson will be starting in P2. And good news for those of you that are watching in the chat, no illegal blocking, and we got a dry race ahead of us. So we're not going to be like what we're seeing in PSF2, where I was absolutely chucking it down for the start of the race. So this is going to be interesting, James. What are you expecting in terms of strategy here tonight?
Honestly, hards, mediums, or mediums, hards. I know it's probably the given old saying, I think, in sim racing, but one-stop strategy will probably work. I think a set of hard compound tyres, if you're starting them, you're going to be getting, I think, around about 14, 15 laps before putting in onto a set of mediums for about 12 laps to the end of the race. Remember, it's 27 laps here tonight, so drivers have got to be very careful in terms of which strategy they choose. Medium compound tyres as well. If you want to start on a set of mediums, will gain you time at the start, but they can only last about 12 or 13 laps in terms of the mediums. Then drivers will be coming in for a set of hards because it's literally impossible to get a set of softs to the end of the race. If anybody's starting a set of soft compound tyre, however, they'll be gone 6-7 laps into the stint, so it is probably worth avoiding the set of softs. But if you want to stick on a strategy, I'd personally go either a set of hards or a set of mediums at the beginning of this race, and that's what I'm hoping a majority of drivers will be going on in terms of their strategy. We are going to get going, by the way, in 1 minute.
1 minute, so we're getting underway very, very quickly, so watch out. Get your predictions in the chat as to who you think is going to win this one as well. I'm going to go for Rens Tomlinson, because usually if you get a toe in the Michel Straight, you're going to be doing well. You do not want to be leading. If you're close enough to your rival, you don't want to be leading on the final lap, because other drivers around you are going to gain massively. So I'm going to go for Rens Tomlinson for the race win. What do you think, James?
Well, before I come to my prediction, Avatar's just put in a very interesting one. I bet on Mateo. He starts from 14 places to the podium, he predicts. Maybe an even more bold prediction than me, if Avatar will be giving us the lottery numbers after this. I am going to just leave it on out there and say I'm going to go big old boring. I'm going to go Cameron Dowd for the race win. I think he's just different level around this track. Rens will be there down in towards turn number 1. I think Cameron Dowd, I think he'll just have enough.
Yes, so I've gone for Rens, you've gone for Cameron, Avatar has gone for Mateo. Well, maybe Mateo wants to start near the back on purpose, you never know, or maybe he just screwed up on his lap. The times were The margin was so close. There was only little margin for error. That's all it takes in PSF1. But we are about to get underway. The 5 red lights are coming on. Lights out and away we go. Cavendale gets a really good start from Ren Tomlinson. We're seeing Sibbler trying to capitalise on your own towards turn number 1 as well. All of them eagerly matched together as we've got Sibbler and Euron side by side through turn number 2. One of them surely made back out here, but they're not giving up here as Euron takes the inside line, which he does. He keeps third for now. We've got one of the salvers of Flopman going side by side, but we've got Jamie that's had a bit of a knock in towards turn 4, and he looked like he was going backwards, so he must have made contact somewhere. Ian's got a penalty, I'm not quite sure why, but now they pass in towards turn 7 now, in towards the Michel Straight. Here comes Flopman. He's in for a vengeance as he's trying to get past the Red Bull driver of Brando. Is he going to do it though, or is he going to wait for the DRS? He's going to wait for the DRS. We've got Matteo's already making ground, but he can't get past the house right now. But Chaos near the back. But so far, the top 2 remains unchanged. Euron and Sibbler, they were having a ding-dong fight, and they made it look easy.
They were having that ding-dong fight. Further down the field, Jamie, by the way, got spun. It was 2 into 1, basically. 2 hits into 1. Flopman was 1, and I believe the other, if I'm not mistaken, was Brando. And there goes GL to the inside line on the Sauber, on the back of the McLaren and Matteo. Now Matteo's sizing up the inside line of turn number 12 at Bendor. Now, are GL and Matteo gonna love each other? Are they gonna hate each other in towards turn 14? They're gonna love each other. GL gets the position. Matteo then 13th will have to remain as he is. Fede and Keki diving down the inside line as well on the back of Fede. Fede there hanging on for 14th. Keki there in 15th. And Jamie hasn't got damage, crucially. He's not into the pit lane. He's going to continue on, but he ideally needs a VSC, I think, to get back into this one. But Cameron Dodds leads the way. Renton second. You're on there in third. Everyone, by the way, exactly how I expected them to be going on. Set a hard compound and tyres. Then they'll go just beyond the halfway stage. Maybe see the first pits up around about lap 12, lap 13, potentially. But anybody that goes beyond the halfway stage in this race will be fine. Everyone's sorting that to the hard compound and tyres. And as you mentioned there, just about Ian Van Noonen, 3-second penalty for him. He cut turns 1 and 2, and then he got a warning at 2, 3, and he was the other one that got involved in that contact with both Flopman and Jamie. So that might get removed.
Yeah, that might potentially get removed if there's obviously a valid reason. But it's one of those tracks where they do get triple warnings quite a lot. So as long as they have the race director, they should be absolutely fine, as long as they're not corner cutting on purpose. I'm not surprised that everyone is starting on the hard compound tyres. One of the first races in PSF1 in a while where everyone's starting on the same tyre. We've had most of the races this season where we've had 1 or 2 drivers start on different tyres. Everyone's starting on the same. So it's going to be coming down to pace. It's going to come down to setup as well. I talked about it in the pre-intro, if you like, or just before I was doing the hot lap, that these drivers have got to think, would I compromise straight line speed or would I compromise downforce? It's quite tough due to the fact that there's some long straights around here. You got to find a bit of both. You got to optimise a bit of both. So you can't have it too OP on downforce or too OP on straight line speed. You got to cater for both situations. So there's some moments where you may have to have a bit of understeer. Positions gained from the drivers. Let's have a quick look right now. We got Brando up 2, Ian Van Uven up 1. And GL gained 4 places at the start as well. He's up to 12. Matteo up 2. Biggest loser, Jamie down 8, as you were saying. But like you were saying, no damage. DRS is enabled. This is where we're going to see the overtakes come into play. Sibbler is looking like he is the closest so far down this back straight. But I think we can see a lot of people trying to go for moves. But some of them will be saving on battery. So here's Sibbler. Is he going to think about it? He's gaining. None of them are thinking about it right now. They don't want to be pushing too much too early on because ERS can play a massive factor. You don't want to use too much too quickly.
Yeah, it'll be a big old DRS game of poker, I think, on the run up towards Senior turn number 10. I think we might see a move, though, GL. Definitely want to get on with the moves, the man and the old guard. And now we've got 2 old guards going out at Nuth and GL. Nuth, everyone's out wide in towards Bowls 8, turn number 11. GL up the inside line in the Sauber, trying to get the job done now on the outside line of Nuth in towards turn 12 at Bendor. Nuth hangs on to the inside line, falls them off track. They're getting a bit aggressive, these 2 old guards, as Gil and Nuth are still pretty much forcing each other whipped apart across the track. Now through Lack and Pond at turns 14 and 15. Gil's got the inside line, Nuth's got the outside. He'll have the traction if he's got enough. and he might just be good enough, but GL gets the move, but this has invited Matteo in, championship leader, in behind as well, on the run down and towards turn 1. The remainers they are, but it's always good to see two old gods firing down in towards turn 1, and Nuth trying to launch a move there on GL. That fight is definitely not over and done with. Mirko Soriano, by the way, P3 man in season 30 in PSF1, is there in the chat, and Nuth decides to dive bomb the inside of GLG, because why not? And now Matteo is going to get completely now around the outside of both of them. He's going to be very careful. And in the end, GL gets ahead of Nuth, but the two old guards are fighting each other pretty much like Misfits boxing right now on the up the hill, in towards the Mistral threat, in towards the chicane. Matteo now side by side, Fetty now side by side, could be 2 for 1, in towards the Mistral threat, in towards the chicane. That turns 8 and 9, tries to get up the inside on the Aston Martin. Nuth there dropping down the field. He is getting elbows out, Nuth. He is definitely not liking the driving here, as now Keki is going to go side by side with them. 3 wide, maybe, and towards Sinye. This is unbelievable action. It is forceful, it is aggressive, but I like it. Now Keki to the inside line. That's a clean move. That's how GL and Nuth should be racing. Keki through, smoking there, Fetty, and he's finished into 14th.
Yeah, and this is a fight for the lower position. It's not even for points, and they're still going at it, which is really great to see. And it shows how close everyone is in PSGL, PSF1. We could see Ryan and the Sauber of Flopman going at it as well. Ryan has got a good exit in towards the final corner of turn number 15. How's he going to do in turn 1? We'll have to wait and see. This is going to go on for many laps to come, I think, as well. Ren's in the other Williams, right on the back of Cameron Dowles to get the lead. But I wonder if they're going to be DRSing each other to gain time, or will they just be on that DRS train for a little bit longer? I think Renz is keen to go for it, but he's not going to go for it yet, as he wants to save his tyres. He's going to probably let other people try and push, and then he's going to be fine. Or he's just going to try and worry about what's going behind. But Cameron Dowles is pulling away just a little bit. But let's see what Renz could do on this back straight of Michel Straight. Here he comes then. He has got a bit more straight line speed than Cameron Dowles, but Cameron Dowles close the door and Renz doesn't go for it. Anyone else go for the move? Matteo side by side with Gil in towards turn number 8. Easy job done. He's already up into 11th place. His next target is his teammate for tonight, Macho in 10th. We also got Nuth in there as well. I think we could see some more moves going on towards turn number 10, I think.
And there goes Keki, speaking of which, to the inside of Nuth in towards turn number 10. Just as you soon as you say that, Keki gets the job done. He's into 13th. Nuth there down in 14th. What Matteo's got to do, the young man has now got to try and find the old guard, his frenemies, out on track. Because look at the gap between himself and Macho. 2 seconds the gap. Macho obviously replacing Baki here tonight, so he's a reserve, and he's in the final point scoring position right now as it stands. Matteo there, though, in 11th. He's going to try and close up. He's got 38% of battery. Macho's got 79. So we've got double the amount of ERS right now as Macho. He can easily stay within DRS range. Matteo hasn't. Matteo's got to use up those tyres, got to use up that pace to good effect just to try and close the gap, and then latch back on, and then maybe try and find the move on Macho if he is so willing. But Cameron Dowd's leading the way, Ren's in second, you're on there in third. While I'm on the subject of ERS right now, Cameron Dowd has got a full amount of battery. Rend has got a full amount of battery. Jeroen's got 64%, which is very interesting. I thought he would actually be saving up a lot more than that. Sapola's on 83, and Bolakongan on 89 as it stands. And then we've got Ian Van Noonen on 84. He's looking for a move maybe on Bolakongan down the straight. Ryan is, though, on the back of Flopman. He's looking quite close into the chicane node, but he is not close enough. The Williams not diving it that far back on the man who has had many a penalty in his time in PSGL this season. That Flopman ahead in 8th position, Ryan there in 9th. But everyone remain as they are. Cameron Dowd's leading the way, Ren's in second, Jeroen there in third, pretty much now through the first third of this race here in France.
Yep, it's gone quickly so far, and hopefully we'll keep an eye on the tyres, but they seem to be A-OK so far. But Gil and Keke are fighting once again through turn number 11. They're putting their foot down, and that was beautiful for Gil. But Keke's going to get the switch back maybe towards turn number 12. Nope, he's not. So that was very committed from GL Gil in towards that corner. So Gil's up to 12th, and he's catching up to Matteo up front as well. They're all pretty much almost in the same DRS train. Matteo's got to get a move on, though. He's out of the DRS train of the top 10, and that's not helping everyone else behind. So he's literally got to push at some point in order to stay there, because otherwise he could be in a bit of trouble. but there's a bit of tyre smoke happening towards turn number 2. Luckily, it's not brake magic or brake smoke. They're absolutely fine in terms of their engines so far in PSGL because they don't get engine failure here. Turns out, I had something in F122 where there was an engine glitch in multiplayer, which I actually found quite funny. Luckily, it was at the beginning of the game and they patched it quite quickly, but Renz, second opportunity for him to get the move done. I think he's just going to wait a little bit. He's saving his engine, he's saving ERS, and he's saving a bit of tyre wear as well, which is, I think, much smarter, where some people in the midfield, they want to try and get as many places as they possibly can, like Fede, for example. He's passed Noof in towards turn number 8. Nice and clean. He's up to 14th, but yeah, this is going to be very, very tight indeed. Jamie's starting to come back into this as well, so don't rule him out just yet. It's just a shame about his spin though.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously with there being 2 DRS zones around this track, one down the start finish straight, one down the first half of the Mistral straight, it really brings the question. Jamie has got good cornering. There's more straights though than corners around this track, and that's why he is struggling 5.7 seconds down. That's why Matteo was struggling to even catch the back of Macho halfway down the field. They're 10th and 11th. Macho is 3/10 behind on Ryan, 2/10 behind Ryan on Flopman. Avatar, though, in the chat mentioned Macho should help Matteo slow down a bit and stay within the group in DRS. I totally agree with that. I honestly think that. Obviously, there is that whole thing around in qualifying they can't give each other slipstream. This is the race. I mean, the gap is 1.2 seconds. What I think is going to happen, though, Flopman is looking slow ahead of Ryan. I think Ryan could go for the move in towards the Mistral straight, in towards Chicane Nord at turns 8 and 9. Macho there on the back will try and counteract that. They'll all group together. And now look what happens, because Matteo, as soon as I say that, Matteo's just made a mistake. So Matteo's now further on the back foot compared to where he was. But I think Ryan could go for the move on Flopman.
He's trying.
Down the Mistral straight in towards Chicane Nord. He's not using up any battery, though, so I don't think he's going to go for the move. But what needs to happen is Matteo, after that mistake has been overtaken by Gil, that now puts Gil to try and hunt them down. And he's probably better to do that because he's got more ERS and he's got better tyres.
And Tom just saying in the chat, I was going to reply in the chat, but I may as well say it now. Is Macho reserve? Yes, he is a reserve for tonight, filling in for Baki. So, yeah, he's not full-time. He is a reserve driver as well. So, reserves don't get points for the constructors right now. But information about the constructors, because we didn't have time to go through it. McLaren is still leading by 8 points. But with Gil and Flopman in this race, this is going to be interesting to see what Flopman and Gil could do with those 2 drivers being here. But Gil needs to make some moves ASAP in order to get past Macho and Ryan. So we'll see what they can do here as we're heading towards lap 9 of 27. The start finish straight can be a bit misleading because sometimes I don't even know when I'm racing when the finish line is. And some people may celebrate early, but then they end up going into a wall. So let's hope they don't do that at this point as well. Jeroen looking racing. I think I have to say Jeroen has been my biggest good surprise in this race so far. Jeroen in a championship currently, his 13th, his best result. He scored 5th in round number 4, which I believe it was either Monaco or Austria. The flags are really similar, by the way. He's looking good here. He's improving on his pace. Cameron Dowd is pulling away just a little bit, but he's just had an inkling to get past Renz, but he couldn't get it done yet. But he's just looking very racy tonight, and I like this side of Jeroen.
I'd be honest, I think Jeroen's looking quicker than Renz and Cameron right now. I really do. He's right on the back of them both. It's very hard to tell, obviously, with the gaps and everything, how the drivers are looking. Jeroen visibly, coming out of the chicane Nord, he gained time on the exit of the corner, whereas Renz and Cameron didn't. They were a little bit more feathery on the throttle coming out of the corner, so that's why Jeroen is now on the back of them. And that's why I think he's beginning to try and hunt on the back of Renz, saying, you guys have got to get a move on, otherwise I'm going to be forced to do something, and I do not want Sapala on the back of me to try and follow me through either when I do this. So Jeroen has got to be very careful. He's got to really pick and choose his battles. Renz nearly into the back there of Cameron, and also, I think that was Brando nearly into the back in Van Unen there, into the right hand of turn 15 there at Pond. But Cameron Dowds leads the way, Renz in second, Jeroen there in third. Jeroen is beginning to build up that battery once again. Still concerning though, 79% of ERS. Renz has got a full amount of battery, so he's 20% less at this moment in time, Jeroen, compared to Renz. That will be concerning for me. If I'm a trick for Jeroen, I'd just lift and coast a little bit early, maybe about 10 metres before the corner, where your braking point actually is. 10 metres off, get the lift and coast. It gains you an extra percentage of battery here and there. That's what I think he needs to do, just to try and counteract any move from behind. But at the minute, looks like there's going to be a move because Ryan is going side by side with Flopman. Flopman defending very aggressively, I've got to say, down the
Battle for
first
the
part
lead.
of the straight. And Flopman is there an 8th, Ryan in 9th, and Cameron Dowds has been overtaken for the race lead.
Yeah, that was in turn number 8 at the end of the Michel Straight as Ren Tomlinson is now leading the French Grand Prix. And Cameron Dowds is still right on the gearbox, so he could still potentially go for this move. He could go around the outside in towards turn 11, where requires a lot of downforce, this part of the track. But wait till you get to the straights. It'll be great to see. And someone saying in the chat, has Matteo finally been nerfed? Francesco saying, wouldn't count Matteo out just yet. I agree at this moment in time. I know he's down in 12th, but since it's a big DRS train, it's very hard to overtake at the best of times. The only chance you have of overtaking at the best of times for a good position is for the lead. But we have seen people in the midfield try to make their way through. We see Matteo do it. Matteo's right on the back of Gil, so watch out ASAP at the moment. And Avatar saying, bravo, James, by the way. So he must have done something right.
I think it was me saying Gil's got to try and get on with things. Matteo there in 12th. They're finally back within DRS range. So literally everything, I think, has gone onto a set of hards. It might be because, though, Jamie's gone onto a set of medium compounded tyres, and he might be just getting confused with mine and Jamie's name, I think, there in the chat. But Jamie's on a set of medium compounded tyres. My concern for him, he might not get those tyres to the end of the race. He needs a safety car now. Yeah, he needs a safety car now to get into this race. Cameron Dowds now on the back of Rennes for the race lead. Easy as you like, halfway down the straight, in towards turns 8 and 9. Cameron Dowds back ahead of Rennes. And now the yo-yo effect, as I like to call it, begins between them both, because they're just going to swap positions until the cows come home with Yaron and Sapala on the back of them. These front four have got really the nerve, I think, to try and pull away. Volokungan's not looking that quick there in 5th. But at this moment in time, the front four looking pretty good. Cameron Dowds now in control of this race. Ren's in 2nd. I would not discount, though, Sapala out of this front four battle. He's there in 4th. I mentioned about Yaron looking quick. Sapala's now looking as quick, if not quicker, than the guys ahead of him. And this is suiting the man who basically produced a one-shot qualifying that in qualifying to get to 4th position. Now he's in 4th position on the back of Yaron, and he's looking very comfortable, I've got to be honest there.
Yeah, he's looking very, very tidy in that Alpine car. As we got one driver that's in the pits already. Matteo is in the pit lane. Interesting. So he's going on early from a set of hards. Is he going to go to mediums?
Yep.
Surely not. That's not going to get to the end of the Grand Prix unless we have the rain on the horizon. I'm actually going to check my telemetry to see that. I'm not going to tell you no, it's dry for the rest of the race. I thought we were going to get some rain and it's going to be all exciting and all that jazz, but no, it's according to my telemetry, it's dry for the rest of the race. It complete sunshine for the rest of the race as well. So yeah, I'm still perplexed with why Matteo has gone up, but I don't think Means will get to the end of the race. Ultimately, it lasts about 11 or 12 laps. I think a few more laps, maybe they would have come in and pitted, but not now, surely.
Undercut strategy will be the big player here, I think, for Matteo. He's got Jamie to help him. That's the biggest factor in this. Jamie's got 4 lap all mediums. He's on warmer tyres compared to Matteo. Maybe let him do some of the donkey work, and then Matteo can get on with things. But undercut strategy is so crucial around here. Pit lane loss, I think, is around about 21 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, around here. So, with that being said, gap between Matteo and Nuth is 20.3. Gap between himself, Cameron Dowds, and the race leaders, however, are more like 26 seconds, as Ian Van Unen is into the pit, Ryan is into the pit lane, and again, you may as well call me Mystic James, because I literally said drivers could pit in from about lap 12, lap 13 in this race. They're doing what I like to call the Kazizzle strategy around here tonight, but Cameron Dowds still leads the way, Ren's in 2nd, and we'll see, though, Jess, how Ian Van Unen and Ryan are going to get on these pit stops. They were both going on a set of mediums. Matteo and Jamie are coming out the final corner. It's a long pit lane here, and a long run down in towards turn 1. So this is going to be pretty tight, I think, between them both. Ian Van Unen now released, as is Ryan, as is Matteo. Matteo's right on the back of Ryan, and actually overtakes Ryan in towards turn 1. Perfect for Matteo. He's got warmer tyres compared to Ian Van Unen. Undercut's working.
Undercut is working for Matteo, but Ian Van Uven is ahead. but he's going to have the fresher rubber towards the end. So you can see how Matteo is closing on the corners too. So this could be very exciting for him as well as they make their way towards turn number 7 as well. Will any of the top guys think about pitting? Well, I think they can. They may sacrifice themselves later, but the undercut, I think, will be even more powerful here as well. As we've got the likes of Ryan going to go side by side with Matteo on the fresher rubber. No, he's not going to go do so yet, as a very technical part of the track of turn number 8 and in towards turn number 9 now as well. And I don't think any of them are going to make any meet so far. So they're staying where they are at the moment. We're starting to see Ryan saying some very good set times in the middle sector. We got a train of cars, by the way, going into the pit lane. Rendered in, Yaron is in, Cipolo is in. Cameron Dow stays out. That is interesting. Flotman is in, and we got Gil who stays out too. So the only ones that have stayed out is Cameron Dow, Brando, Macho and Gil, and Fede. Everyone else has come into the pit lane, and they're going to go on to a set of the medium compounder tyres. So let's watch Ian Van Urban. He's the lead of this train. We've got a few cars heading towards the end of the pit lane. It's going to be very, very tight on the exit. So the likes of Ian have got to get a move on. And Ian is ahead. So that undercut has worked for 3 drivers. Not for Jamie, but that's because he's on older tyres. But for the ones he pitted recently, it's worked a treat as Matteo and Ryan going side by side towards turn number 3. Can Ryan make it? And Ryan does make it into 7th place. He's having a cracker of a race. He's showing that he's the man made of the right stuff today towards turn number 6 and 7. Great stuff as well. Yaron has been caught up in this too, which is not ideal. This is what we saw with Ian last week. He pitted early, got that undercut. The only thing that hindered him was that 3-second penalty, but we may see him getting removed. Gio and Macho going side by side in towards turn 10 and 11. Gets a cut back, and Gil stays ahead at the moment with P3. There's just action happening everywhere. Sometimes there's no room to breathe currently as they head towards turn number 12. And a few people not sure about Cameron's shot. Well, I don't know at this point, but they're going to be on fresher rubber towards the end. Cameron Dow stays out. Brando and Gil are in. Gil had a massive lock-up anyway coming into the pits. That was interesting. Fede's in. Is Macho going to come in? No, Macho stays out. So Cameron Dow's and Macho thinking differently. Do you think they're hoping for a safety car? Because I think at this point they're going to lose out so much to the people that are pitted before them.
They're going to lose out so much, but it's... I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That's why we're in the commentary box.
Is doing. Exactly. That's why we're in the commentary box, and we can actually depict some of these strategies that's going on rather than the guys ahead. Ian Van Unen, by the way, is in the net lead of this race right now. 16.9 seconds. Cameron Dowd, as I say, pit lane loss, 21-22 seconds. He's going to be more down towards Keki, Jamie Gill sort of area when he decides to come out of the pit lane. That is going to be bad for Cameron Dowd. Liam says Cam is winning with the strategy. The tyres will come online, but only around about 8 or 9 laps into their stint. That's where it'll really be happening, as now Yaron is right on the back of Matteo. Mateo's right on the back of Ryan. We could get a 3 wide and towards turn number 8 and 9. Yaron on the inside line. Battle of the late breakers. What a move that is by Yaron. Absolute balls of steel from the Dutchman. He gets through and he's into 4th. And now Matteo tries to get the switch back on Ryan. Ryan now tries to cover off. Now up the pass in towards Signate, turn number 10. This is getting set into rest on track as Ryan stains it to the inside line. In towards turn 10. Now in towards Bolsay at turn number 11. Brilliant racing by Yaron. That move just comes to show as Cameron Dad's into the pit lane. That move just comes to show, by the way, how much Yaron is filling with confidence. And Renz Thomason, speaking of confidence, is now battling with Matteo. Another 2 rising talents on PlayStation. Side by side now in toward Lackenpont at turns 14 and 15. Renz gets the double hander. He gets the double head. And now he's through and he's into 6th position. Matteo there down into 7th. But all of that spawned from that 3-wide battle, and Yaron now in the prime spot to maybe take this race win as Cameron Dowd coming out of the pit lane is where he is coming out behind Sapala.
He's lost a lot. He's lost a lot of time, so he's got to make some moves then to try and inherit the win once again of this Grand Prix. So look at the order. I did not have this on my bingo card going to tonight. We got Ian leading, but he's got that penalty. Yaron in 2nd, Ryan in 3rd. Ren's in 4th. Ryan is definitely playing the game where he wants to try and make as many overtakes as he can. And he's working. He loves his track. France is a good track where we have seen big surprises. We could see a prize here tonight. Jerome gets past Ian, by the way, up to second. As Brando and Sippel are side by side. Brando's up to second. We got Keke trying to get past Cameron Downs, but couldn't quite do it on this occasion. There's just so much going on. Look at Volakongan trying to switch back on Mateo in towards turn number 10. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. He's made the move stick. Up to 5th place. Mateo's losing out quite a bit, but he has gained a lot by pitting early. He's gained, I think, about 6 places. He was 12. Now he's in 6th place. He's got to make sure he gets those tyres to the end of this race. So that is going to be interesting. Ren's fighting with his teammate for tonight, Ryan, as they make their way towards the final few corners. This is going to get very crazy. No team orders at play, though, at Williams. They're going to go for it, but this is looking very good for them, for the constructors.
It is looking very good for the constructors, I've got to say. I should be filling Cameron Dowds up with a lot more confidence, by the way, because I've actually predicted him for the race win. You've got Renz for the race win. He's there in 4th, Cameron Dowds in 9. I'm following Liam's footprint. I'm going to follow the process. I'm going to follow Cameron Dowds like a hawk now in this race. In 9th position. Sapala, though, on the back, though, of Brando, now looking potentially very close. This race has just all of a sudden kicked off in terms of the action. It always delivers, France. In other leagues that I commentated on last week, really good racing around there, and now we're getting the same here in PSGL, PSF1, and here comes Brandox right on the back of Mateo, the 2 Italian stallions running down the straight in the Red Bull, and albeit in a McLaren, down in towards the chicane north at turn 7. Ian Van Unen going for the race lead, I think, on your own, maybe looking to the inside line there, not quite your own there, remaining as it is. Ian Van Unen second, Ryan there in third. Remember, though, Jess, and remember, guys, in the chat, Ian Van Unen's got that 3-second penalty. Remember, that was for the Jamie incident on lap 1. Cameron Dowds flies past Sampala up in towards Senior, turn number 10. Ian Van Unen's got that 3-second penalty. That could get removed, judging by what I've been told and what I've heard, potentially, from that incident. So Ian Van Unen may have that 3-second penalty removed if he feels like it. Remember, Ryan had a penalty very similar to that removed last week as well in Canada. So that exactly could come to the fore once again. But your own lead, Ian Van Unen second, Ryan there in third. Trust the process. Trust the process. Cameron Dowds inside line of Mateo. They make contact, and now the two young breds run down and towards turn number 1. Brandock's right on the back of these guys as well. Cameron Dowds on the outside line of Mateo, trying to look for the outside line. He'll have the traction around the outside, surely in towards turn number 1. Mateo's there. Cameron Dowds outdoes him for chips to the inside line. There's your spaghetti and meatballs right there. Mateo, he loses the position to Brandock's. Brandock's into 7th. Sapala there in 8th, trying to find to the inside line. Brilliant racing. God, I might be in a coma by the end of this race.
I hope you're not in a coma, because we need you next week in the commentary box for whatever track it is. I should know what track it is, because we keep talking about it. Oh, it's Portugal next week. I'm very excited for Portugal, by the way, as well. As Cameron Dowds looking like he's going to try and get past another driver. He's not messing around. I should have been giving Cameron Dowds more confidence than meets the eye. I should have followed Liam and James's lead on that one, but they're all so tightly matched as well. If one person makes a mistake, that's it. I can see Cameron Dowds going for the move here. He's going to go for it. He's gaining to the right-hand side of Volakongan. That was easy stuff and easy pickings for Cameron Dowds, the one who got pole position. He's got pole position for a reason. His next target is Ryan. We've got Gil, who's passed Mateo to 10, 11.
That was so unexpected. The camera angle didn't even pick up on it. GL through and he's into 9. Mateo there in 10. I'm not sure if Mateo might have a slight bit of front wing damage potentially on that car. Seems to all of a sudden be struggling. All hell breaking loose into the final corner. Here's Keki to the inside line and Mateo. Remember, Mateo had that bit of contact side by side with Cameron Dowds. He might have right side end plate damage on that car. Mateo, though, and Keki are now side by side. Brandock's now side by side with Volakongan. We need to take Kravitz in the commentary box. Right now, we need to take Kravitz in with us. We need a Jav or somebody in with us right now. Your own there leads the way. Sapala now fighting 3-4 wide in towards turn number 3. Doesn't go into the hotel hairpin now at turn number 5. Gil contacts the back there of Sapala. Sapala now under pressure from both Gil and Brandock's in behind. This is absolute madness here in France. This is interest on all right. Sapala there in 7th. Brandock's there in 8th. Gil there in 9th. And this is, my word, what a race this is. Your own leads. Ren second, Ian Van Unen third. I better have a voice by the end of this race as Ren goes for the race lead on your own.
But it's not going to be made easy right now as Jeroen to the inside, as Jeroen's got the move done. But look at Ian Van Hooven. He wants to get back on both of them. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 10. It could be 4 wide if Cameron Dowds has anything to say about it as well. It's going to be 4 wide. Surely it's going to end not so well if all 4 of them tried to go for the same piece of tarmac. But it's going very well. Cameron Dowds is up to 3rd. We've got a yellow flag. That is Sipola that's had a bit of an issue. Well, Sapala, sorry. That is very gutted, but Ren's still out on top. Jeroen in 2nd, but he's under pressure from Ian Van Hooven and Cameron Dowds, who's right on the cusp of getting Ian here in towards the final corner. Can he go for a centre? Dreams there. That was brilliant for Cameron Dowds. Cameron Dowds is up onto the podium, but Ryan wants a chance to go onto the podium too. This is probably one of the best races of PSGL, PSF1 this season. With a matter of fact, they're all going guns a-blazing. It's been non-stop action every lap. It's been absolutely crazy, and we don't know who's going to win this race. It's so tight. We've got about 8 laps to go. Surely some tires are going to go up to the Ghost. I'm not going to change my overall prediction, but with the way this is going, the favourite going into this to win this race because of the tyre life is definitely Cameron Dowds.
Definitely is, and he's looking now on the back of Jeroen, and you know what? Jeroen's looking on the back of Ren's. They're going to fight side by side now and towards turns number 8 and 9 again. Jeroen to the inside line, gets the job done. He's into the race lead. Ren's there in 2nd. The 2 Dutchmen fighting out up the hill now and towards Signet, turn number 10. What does Cameron Dowds do in this situation? Does he go for the move? You bet he will. To the inside line. Now Ren's on the outside line. This is going to be now Cameron Dowds in a predicament. He's going to be boxed in. Gets the inside line. Surely not. 3 wide in towards Bose at turn number 11. Cameron Dowds, the miracle man, to the inside line, gets the job done. Ren's forced off track by Jeroen. Still very aggressive racing, but this is really clean. Cameron Dowds into the race lead. Jeroen in 2nd, Ren's there in 3rd. This is Cameron Dowds' chance now to shoot up the road. He's got the tyres. He's got the percentage of the ERS. He's got everything in his favour now. Aggressive battling going on. This is Cameron Dowds' race to lose, and we're only on lap 20 out of 27.
This is how you race in PSGL PSF1. That was amazing. I was on the edge of my seat. And you know what, James? I nearly stood up, but I couldn't stood up because my mic is lower down. But if I had a headset, I definitely would have stood up at this point. And look at the gap he's already pulling. 7/10. So the main fight is going to be behind him. Jeroen and Ren's. But Cameron Dowds can't afford to push too much because he's going to have the tyre to get to the end of this race. And I think Liam at the moment and James is going to have lottery numbers, I think, on Saturday night. So send me a DM, please. Only joking, by the way. I don't promote gambling at PSGL. As Jamie to the fast lap of the race, as Ian heading towards turn number... Oh, this is tight between those 2. I wonder if one of them was forced wide a little bit. As Ryan had an unsafe rejoin. No, that was Ren's had an unsafe rejoin, and he got a 3-second penalty because of it. That 3-second penalty is not getting removed. That was an unsafe rejoin, and he gained the advantage doing it.
Yeah, definitely so. Brandok's there around the outside of Volakongan in towards Bose at turn number 11, trying to find the way through. Liam now saying Cameron Dowds, now it's gone. Pretty much like South Park and the bank. It's gone. This race is now gone. Cameron Dowds, unless it's the BSC or a safety car, is going to win this race. 1.6 seconds now the gap. Jeroen and Ren's can fight until their tiny hearts can take any more. They're there in 2nd and 3rd, and they're doing absolutely brilliantly, I've got to say. But the tyre life, in the end, is going to be Cameron Dowds' favour. Ren's and Jeroen, they've got to work together. If they've got a chance, they've got to try and just basically get Cameron Dowds on the back foot, maybe try and make a mistake. But it's very difficult to do that when he's 2 seconds up the road already, and we're only on lap 22 out of 27. Brandok's there on the back of Volakongan. All of this is now going to build for who's getting on the podium. Ren's has got the penalty now. Might get that removed with that incident with Ian. Ian Van Hoonen's got a 3-second penalty. That was from early on in the race on lap 1. That could get removed. And now we're all in the question of who else is going to be on the podium with them. The likes of GLGL getting into the race. And speaking of which, here he comes to the inside line. As pretty much on cue. Wasn't part of the script, but GLGL is through and he's into 7th. Brandok's there in 8th. And GLGL, for me, is the man to watch out for coming down from the back end of the field. He's got better tyres compared to Volakongan and the rest of the guys ahead. He's on a very similar strategy to Cameron Dowds, albeit a lap later than Cameron Dowds. He's there in 7th. Watch out for him. He might have had an instant Knuth early on, but Gilles, if he keeps a cool head, he's going to be right on the back of these guys.
Yeah, they are going to be right at the back of these guys indeed. No one could afford to make a mistake, and Brando's going to try and make the move towards turn number 12 as well, but he has forced to be set back for the time being as well. Make sure you do check out our sponsors, GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre. And you could get some lovely setups from them as well. And I have to say, I've tried out a few from Sim Racing Centre. They look very good. I wonder if any of them are running some setups from Sim Racing Centre tonight, where you can get 10% off the setups by using the code PSGL. Just saying. Or maybe wait to the F1 24 game. Who knows? But Cameron Dow's pulling away by 3 seconds. He is on fire tonight. He is amazing. As long as he keeps up this pace and manages his tyres effectively, he's on course to be winning this one. If there's a safety car, his progress will be ruined. But if there's no safety car, which I don't think it's going to happen, because I think it's very unlikely on this game to have safety cars in France, speaking from experience. So I think he's doing very well good there as well. But Ryan looking for another move. We got Ian and Ren's got DRS on your own. Ren's going to go for the move on your own towards the missile straight at turn number 8. And that was beautiful from Ren's. He is on course for a podium on track, but Jeroen's still on course for second. I don't think Jeroen fought this one too much because he knows that Renz has got a penalty, but can Jeroen fight back on this one potentially? Right on the gearbox, I think they got similar setups as well. Surely he may try and do what Cameron Dow's do and go for the switch back in towards turn 11. But we got Gilles and Voller Congan side by side through turn 11. I thought Jeroen and Red were going to go side by side in turn number 11, but these guys are doing so as well. How on earth did they not go into the wall by doing that? That was absolutely crazy. Gilles, by the way, stayed in 6th. Let's look at positions gained, by the way. Biggest gainer, Gil up 10. He's going to make it 11 plate. Oh, no, he's not.
No.
And we're going to get a safety car. And as I just said, the safety car may not help Cameron Dow's. That's probably ruined his chance of a race win.
And that instant, by the way, I saw that from my perspective. Gilles up the inside of Ryan into the final corner. They just got locked on in terms of the wheels. Such a shame. That could have been a really good result for Gilles. Could have been a really good result for NLR Ryan. They just got interlocked in terms of the wheels. And you know when you get interlocked in terms of the wheels, there's only one way you're going, and that is pretty much into the wall. Unfortunately for him, he is now out of the races, Ryan. Didn't deserve to be like that. Gilles with his incident and Knuth earlier on comes into question whether he might get a penalty from the stewards. Of course, the stewards will have a look into that after this race. But what that does do now is, unfortunately, bring half the field into the pit lane. M. Sapala has came into the pit lane. Now, I don't think he's going to be close enough on the back of Gilles, Flopman and Feddy and the likes to try and get any sort of undercut. But he could be right there or thereabouts in terms of that mid-pack battle, but we'll have to wait and see. He is on the set-us-off compounder tyres. Cameron Dowd's though on the set-us-offs. Everyone will be bailing into the pit lane, regardless if you're Harry, Sally, or anybody else that's there in the chat. You will be coming into the pit lane for set-us-off compounder tyres, and that means we're going to get, I think, a one-lap safety car, Jess, and also we're going to get racing on the final 2 laps of the race, which also means around a track like this, no DRS.
No DRS. Yes, bring it on now. Predictions have been reset in the chat. Who do you think is going to win this one? We've got everyone that's coming in the pit lane. I'm not surprised, to be honest. No, Fede's staying out. Fede is staying out, and so did someone else, I think. And Gilles has stayed out. So those two, well, we'll have to wait and see if that's an advantage or a disadvantage. But we know people on the softs are going to be absolutely sweeping them by. I think it's the wrong decision to go on the mediums because those two pitted quite early. So, I don't know. Newer tyres on this game is so OP compared to previous games. I think they would have done it if it was on F122, but on F123, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not indeed. Jamie, by the way, just to add a little bit more spice into this, look where he is.
He's a lap down.
Safety car drive. He's a lap down, but he's ahead of Cameron Dowds. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That would be my biggest fear if I was anybody else through the field. Jamie, I think, is just going to get out of the way. Once the safety car restart gets out of the way, then he gets going. Then we get back to full green flag racing. We are on lap 25 out of 27. Jamie, of course, on lap 24, a lap down. Midway saying in the chat, Gil wants more drama. Yeah, I think everyone is going to want more drama, given how we're going to expect these final 2 laps to go. It is going to be one of these races where everything went well for the final 25 laps, and we're going to have the wacky races for the final 2 laps of this race, I think. And that's
Safety
what we're
car's
going to get. It's a safety car. I rightfully said, 1 lap safety car. That's what we're getting. Oh, and Cameron Dowds has gone off. Oh, no, that's Jamie, sorry, going off track. I was getting concerned there.
He was letting people through.
He's letting people through, but will this give everyone a 5-second penalty as a result?
No, because he's one wide.
Okay.
If people run wide, they should be okay.
Yeah,
but if they get 5-second penalty, surely that will be removed because it's not their fault. But anyway, we are about to get underway. And I have to say, if we are allowed to do that, pure respect from Jamie, you just not want to get in any people's way in the final 2 laps because it's going to be absolutely chaotic otherwise. So, Fede's out on top, Gil in second. The first one on soft is Cameron Dowds, and he wants to get a move on ASAP. Who is going to win this race? We'll find out in 2 laps' time as they head towards final corner. Fede is putting the floor everywhere, and he's definitely going as the safety car comes in. And for the penultimate time tonight, let's see how they do it in towards turn number 1. Cameron Dowds has got to have the send of his dreams currently right now. Let's see what it's looking like in the background as well. Not much. Cameron Dowds is going to try and get past 1 car. He does. Oh, wow. He does. What a move through turn 4 and 5. He's got to get past Fede now. And Renz almost got the job done on Gil, but he couldn't quite do it. Cameron Dowds is going to try and go for the send of dreams there. He's probably going to do it before even the breaker zone of the Michel straight. Here he goes. Is this going to be what he's looking for? Could this be the move that will send him to the win of this race? Renz. The answer to that is yes. But here comes Renz to the inside, in towards turn number 8. Can he do it? Yes, he can. We've got Cameron Dowds out there on top. Renz in second, Fede in third. So the ones who have stayed out, they are struggling. As Jeroen and Ian Van Hooven side by side towards turn number 10. This could not end well, especially with the final 2 laps of this Grand Prix. Nice. But they are keeping it relatively steady, relatively clean. Oh. That almost ended wrong. But they just about saved it. And Volakonga's made his way past GLGO as well. Very, very tight there as well. And Keke's up to 7th out of all this. What a move from Keke. But, James, I'm going to rest my voice. I'll let you take through the final lap.
Oh my word, this is going to get pretty tense. Hold on to your hats, everyone. Cameron Dowds leads the way onto the final lap of the race. There's all sorts of carnage going on in the background. Volakonga and Keke and Fede there side by side, but Cameron Dowds, this is his time for glory. He tries to escape up the road. Renz Thomason, though, 12% more ERS, and that is going to be crucial down the Mistral straight where there's no DRS. Keke and Fede are side by side. Jamie has retired there into the big lane, leads the session. Well done, by the way, for Jamie to get out of the way of everyone. Fantastic sportsmanship, I've got to say, from him. But Cameron Dowds leads the way. Renz in second. It's between these two. It's between mine and yours. Pick for the race win, Jess. God help us. Renz now on the back of Cameron Dowds, running down the back straight, in towards the chicane node. Renz closing in. Extra battery life coming into play. Here he comes to the inside line, in towards turns 8 and 9. Cameron Dowds might just let him go here. Renz on the outside line, gets the job done. The Dutchman through, and he's into the lead of the race. Keke gets a 3-second penalty further down the field, but Cameron Dowds now has got to try and just stay within. If this 3-second penalty gets removed from Renz's perspective, Cameron Dowds has to fight for this race win on track. Now to the outside line, in towards both 8 turn 11, switches to the inside line. Renz sees what's coming. Renz now holds the lead, and Cameron Dowds can't really do anything about it in the end. Ian Van Hooven and Jeroen fighting out for the final podium spot in behind, but Renz Thomason now getting away out in front. If this 3-second penalty does get removed by the stewards, if it is applicable, Renz will win this race. As they're coming toward Lac and Pont for the final time, Jeroen contacts the back of Ian Van Hooven, and Ian Van Hooven sent round in the background. But Renz now, the Dutchman, on the run to the line, takes a win in PSGL, but it's Cameron Dowds out on track that takes the race win for now. Jeroen in second, Volakonga in third, Renz in fourth. Brandox misses out on the front four, finished by 400ths of a second there in the end. My word, brilliant race out on track. Renz had that penalty, that 3 seconds worth of penalties from him. could be removed, might not be removed, I'm not sure. But what we can say definitively for now is that A, I've got a prediction right, and B, Cameron Dowds has won the French Grand Prix.
We did very well with our predictions, didn't we? The ones we predicted were P1 and 2. So if you want predictions for France in the future, speak to me and James. But anyway, what a race. I did say in the video that I made to introduce the race that it always delivers in league racing, the French Grand Prix. And this race has just proven my theory correctly. It's incredible. I don't know why it's not on every PSGL calendar, because I always enjoy every race that goes down there as well. But unfortunate for Ian, because that could have been a good result for him too. But let's run through your order. We got Cameron Dowds that wins, but it depends if Rennes get that 3-second penalty removed. I think he got that penalty for going off the track in turn 9, but I don't know with what venture, so we'll see if he does get that removed. We've got Cameron Dowds from Neuron, from Volocon, and from Rennes, from Brando, from Macho, Flopman, Cipolla, Keke, and Noob, your top 10. They're going to be getting points. And then we got Mateo. That's a big shot for the championship leader. He's going to lose out on some big points. He's not scoring any points today. And we got Ian Van Oven, GL Gil, Fede, JB 3 laps down, and Ryan is your retirement, unfortunately. So, yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for them, but too close to call on who I think should be driver of the day, because I can give it to multiple drivers.
I could give it to multiple drivers as well. I think given how those races actually went, that was, for a good part of that race, fantastic in terms of the amount of racing that we had out on track. Everyone should be very proud, I've got to say, of themselves out there, because it was really good, really fair racing. Yes, it was aggressive at times. That is France at the end of the day. But hopefully, we get to see more of that action going forward in PSGL, PSF1. Portugal next week might just put a dampener on things. It could be quite good around that. Last time I commentated on Portugal, Thomas Ronhard won in the 24 hours of F1. So, yeah, I'm not sure it's going to maybe top that, but we never know. We never know. PSGL, PSF1.
But please, honestly, I don't like rating it because it's not. It doesn't suit my driving style anymore on the F1 games. It used to, but as a commentator, I absolutely love it because there's action everywhere. So I can't wait for next week. And if anyone says, "Oh, yes, Portugal's a bad track to commentate," I'm going to shoot them down in the comment section. Only joking. But yeah, looking forward to next week. We'll see what happens. Now, looking at the driver standings, obviously Matteo came into this 62 points separate between himself and Flopman. That is going to stay, I think. But Cameron Dowds and Rennes are going to close up ever so slightly in the championship. It's going to make it an even closer fight, which is what we want. I put a bad commentator. Well, I think we both did a commentator's curse by saying, oh, Mateo is leading, wouldn't be able to hold on to it. Even the PSGL account has done a curse, as it were, as well. Let's just not mention Mateo next week, okay?
Byron Hale's definitely getting the sack, I think, by predicting that as well on PSGL social medias earlier on. We have got all three, by the way, in the waiting room. So whenever you're ready, Jess.
Over to you. The scene has just switched. So I'll hand it over to Mr. James Head for the interviews.
Right, let's try and get them in. Let's see. Hopefully it works first time out. This time around, let's just get the other two in. Hopefully one of them's not on PlayStation, so we can not conduct this. There we are. All three of them are in. And we can speak to the man who finished in P1 in the end. It is Mr. Cameron Dowds. And Cameron, trust the process is what I said in commentary. I predicted you for the race win. I'm looking rather smug on camera right now. Talk us through the race, because that race was pretty epic.
Well, something to break your heart, but Rennes won it because he got an instant pen. Like, he's getting his pen removed, I think.
Oh,
so
right,
I think I get second. Yeah. But it was a really good race. I felt absolutely rapid the whole race. I felt really, really comfortable around this track. Just everything felt hooked up. I improved on every lap in quality, and then in the race, the car just felt phenomenal. And then I was able to manage my ERS well. And then after the pit stop, it worked really well, and I felt really quick. I got to the front, and then it was going very well. and then the safety car comes out. And I think this is probably the most frustrated I've been in a long time, because second's still good, but it was just up until the safety car is probably one of my best drives I've ever had, and then I didn't even win today because Ren's getting his pen removed, so it's quite frustrating that safety car came out, but it's still a good race, and then it's closing the championship gap, but it could have been more, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it could have been more, but obviously, you say that with Ren's penalty. That's what I was alluding to in commentary as well. He might get that penalty removed. I think it was him and Ian Van Unen, if I'm not mistaken, into the chicane, and he got forced off track, got an instant pen. As a result for that, if that penalty does get removed, of course, Ren's will take the race win. But Cameron Dowd, I've got to say, you probably drove as best as I've ever seen you drive in PSGL and in the leagues as well, because that was utterly unbelievable. I can only imagine that safety car, though. It was utter deflation. I think when you saw that safety car pop up left-hand side of your screen, what was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, I was not a happy boy. Yeah, it was very frustrating. Because I knew then it was just after the restart again as well. Then it was I overtook Guel probably too early, and then I used my battery to overtake Guel, and then I got stuck behind Fede. And then I'd already used half my battery. And then Ren's I kind of did the work for Ren's with the two cars in front, so he didn't really have to use anything. And then on the last lap, he just did more ERS. And then I'm just frustrated with myself because I made some stupid mistakes on the last lap too. I should have just let him pass and then tried to get a good exit, but for some reason I tried to fight it and then I just had a shocking exit. So yeah, it is what it is, but I'll come up for more next week.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of racing at the end of the day. One mistake is really going to cost you in a race, and unfortunately I think Cameron did find that out tonight. But congratulations anyways. I think you move into P2 in the standings, if I'm not mistaken, as well, at the minute with Ren's penalty. You were 2 points behind him. Ren's would be 6 points ahead of you if he gets that penalty removed. He would be in second in the championship. You would be in third in the championship. So regardless, going into the final few races of the season, I'm going to let Jess come across in terms of this question, because I know she is absolutely jumping at the bit to get in.
Yeah, I was hoping I can get to answer this question, actually. So, thank you, James. Portugal next week and then Baku the week after. How are you feeling about those two tracks? Obviously, different characteristics as well. One quite wide, one of them quite narrow. What are your thoughts on them?
I really like Portugal. It's a really good track. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And usually I have quite good pace on there. Baku's quite the opposite. I despise it. I hate driving on it. I did WR there, and my pace was pretty shocking. So we'll see what happens. But I'll just have to do a bit more practice than usual, a bit more effort, and we'll just see what happens. Wait, is there only 2 races left?
No, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more races left.
Oh, okay, right, good. I was gonna say I was a bit worried about my championship if it's only 2 races left.
No. We would have talked about it. Well, James would have talked about it if that was the case.
Yeah. 5 races is fine. That's enough time. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed. Cameron Dowd, congratulations on P1, maybe P2 if Renz gets his penalty removed. We'll let you go and enjoy your evening.
All right, thank you.
Who should we speak to next, James? Because we don't have. Should we speak to? I think is Jeroen next in the commentary box. Is Jeroen in?
It is indeed. Jeroen, are you here?
I am here. Yes.
Hooray!
He is here. Fantastic. So P2 for now, out on track, Jeroen. Congratulations on that podium. It will probably be a podium with Renz's penalty if that does get removed. Talk us through that race, because at moments I thought in that race you were looking as quick, if not quicker, than Renz and Cameron ahead.
Yeah, I think the pace was good, but yeah, I think Cameron was the fastest on track. Yeah, but in the lead, you don't really need to push. It's just driving at 99%. Try not to pick up any warnings. And yeah, it was just very close together. Everyone was like in 2/10. So yeah, it comes up to the last laps who's the quickest.
It does, and unfortunately, you ended up, I think, fighting with Ian Van Unen at the back of the in that battle, along with Volakongen and the likes, in for that what was that P3 battle out on track. But that P2 finish was really, I think, well deserved. You looked very good, I'm going to say, out on track. As I say, as good, if not better, than Cameron Dowd at Rennes at certain parts in that race. Talk us through that safety car as well. Same question as Cameron. What was your reaction to that safety car coming out?
Well, it took me a couple of seconds to process it because I thought we were already past the dead point where you couldn't get any safety cars anymore. But yeah, luckily my engineer helped me with the right decision, and I think Cameron and Rens did well also to pit because otherwise we would have been eaten up. But yeah, I was pretty shocked with it coming on track. I didn't expect it.
We certainly didn't expect it as well, given our reactions in the commentary box as well. It was very late. We only had a one-lap safety car as well. But you really took that fight in the final lap of the race. Talk us through that fight that you had with the likes of Volakongen and the likes of Ian Van Unen as well. And that final corner incident that I think is probably going to be looked at by the stewards.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't even want to be in the position. But yeah, Rens and Cameron got by the guys on all tires quickly, and I just catch him in the wrong places in the middle of corners. And with that, I didn't have any slipstream on the top two, and that gave Ian the chance to get behind me. Then I had a very bad exit in the chicane, which compromised my run on Ian a bit. But I managed to try and overtake him in the last corner, and I'm quite sure he turned in very, very early and didn't expect me on the inside. So I hope I'm not getting penalized for this.
Yeah, I was on board with your POV commentating on that final lap, and it looked to me as if there was a gap there to the inside line. Obviously, stewards might differ from an opinion of a commentator, which is totally understandable. But I'm going to let Jess come in again and ask you another question. Congratulations on that P2 for now, though, Jeroen.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeroen, I have to say, one of my drives of the day of that race, because that was what the Jeroen and I like to see, so congratulations. Portugal next week, a track that I absolutely love, but do you like it, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I like Portugal. I think last time we drove in the PSGL, I won it. It was in F4, so it doesn't really matter, but...
Who cares?
Yeah,
It's F4, you still won.
Yeah, I think pace is pretty good there, and but yeah, I know I've practiced a lot with Cameron on that track on previous games, and I know that he is very quick there as well. So yeah, it will be a good fight again, I think, with all the guys.
You've made my day because you won 1 minute before, and you had some good fights before. So we'll let you go and enjoy your evening. Congratulations.
Yes, have a good night.
You too. And James will now interview the last person, and it's a man who's got involved in quite a lot of battles tonight as well. So I'll hand over to you, James.
It is indeed. It's a man that I've actually missed interviewing, I've got to say, after P2 in Australia at the start of the season. It is Mr. Shazoo Volakongen. Volakongen, are you here?
Hello, good evening.
He is.
Yeah.
The dulcet tones of the Norwegian there coming through, which is always good to hear. Congratulations, P3 out on track. Talk us through that race from your perspective and your first podium, of course, since Australia.
Yeah, thank you. Qualifying was very good. I did one of my best laps today in final run, so started P5, I think, which is good for me. And in the race, it was quite... how should I say it? Nothing much happened in the first stint. It was just driving behind other cars, looking a bit behind me, and the same for the second stint. Really, I was kind of looking more behind me than in front of me. But I don't know what to say. And then the safety car came, and I'm probably not gonna end up in P3 because there's probably a penalty getting removed. But, a decent race anyways.
a decent race. You had a really good showing, I've got to say, out on track again. A bit like your own. You looked like at certain stages you were looking quicker than the guys ahead of you, and then the taps just got turned on, and then you just couldn't live with the pace somewhat. And then the safety car came out, threw everything up in the air, and in the end, you ended up P3 out on track. Obviously, Renz might get that penalty removed, but your strongest race, as I say, since Australia this season. So definitely well done on that. And looking forward for the rest of the season, and I know I'm going to steal Jess's question, so she better think of another one for this.
That is
Portugal
fine. I'll let you answer that one.
Portugal next week. Obviously, how do you think you're going to get on around there? And I know it is a track that you've done well at in the past.
Yeah, I have maybe done well in the past, but I don't think I have done a race at Portugal on this game yet. So I don't know. We'll need to do some practice, and yeah, then we will see where it takes us in the end.
But if he's P1 by the end of next week, it'll be absolute foresight, I think, on what I've just said there. Hopefully, Volokongan does get up there in terms of the pace. Hopefully, the practice does come in very handy as well. Jess, any questions?
No questions for me, James, but congratulations on a very good result for tonight, Volokongan.
Thank you.
And no questions from me either, so you can go and enjoy Eden.
Thank you, and happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter. It's coming very soon, isn't it? Yeah, looking forward to it. Have a good Easter. And James, that is it then for round 6 of season 36. It did not disappoint.
It did not disappoint. There was kind of over-aggressive driving in places. Obviously, the battles with Ryan, GL certainly making his presence felt in Discord, I've got to say. It is getting proper spicy in terms of some of the content in there. Luckily, you guys don't have to see that, but we kind of do have to see that because we're commentators for the same division. But at the end of the day, really good racing out on track. I think phenomenal driving standards up and down the field. We had the likes of Renz obviously battling that with Cameron, Matteo getting involved in battles as well, and even your own there. I think your own pretty much put it into perspective, I think, in terms of his interview. He was there pretty much quicker than Renz and Cameron Dowds in the midpoint of the race. And then when just the taps got turned, he was fighting in the end with Ian Van Unen for that potential P3 with Renz's penalty overhanging. And in the end, he managed to come out on top for P2. Obviously, with that penalty, it is going to be a podium finish for him. It's going to be a podium finish, potentially ruined for Volokongan. But looking ahead, Portugal next week, Baku the week after. One race that I'm very much looking forward to. One race that I'm not so much looking forward to. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the next few races. But you summed up your the race pretty perfectly there as well. Some moments where it could have been, I think, a lot cleaner, but for most of it, there was some very brave moves, which just goes to show how you could do in PSGL PSF1. So looking forward to it. But we're about to wrap things up. So thank you very much for watching PSGL PSF1 this evening. But we're not done with PSGL content. We have got Portugal action on Thursday for PCF2, F3, F4 and F5. We've got the E-Series on Friday, which is where, James?
Qatar,
Penalty Central, I have to say. Hopefully that race will go ahead this week because last week it got cancelled due to server issues. So hopefully it will go ahead. Then we got us next week. And if you're wondering, where's PCF1? Well, they finished their season for F1 23 because they've got other things, or maybe they just want a complete break for the new game. You never know. But final plug of our sponsors, by the way, GT Omega. You can see on those comfy chairs, 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout. You can also use the code PSGL at checkout by Sim Racing Centre. 10% off where you can get setups, strategies, lots of other stuff and coaching sessions from some esports drivers, including one from two-time esports champion Brendan Lee. You won't want to miss next week around Portugal, but for myself and James, we're going to have a bit of a lie down after that because our voices are dead. So have a good evening. We'll leave you with our final for sponsors, GT Omega and our partners, Sim Racing Centre. Have a good evening, everybody, and bye-bye.
through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.